Like my demonstration, I want you guys. All right. Is that a fucking 320?
Yep.
All right. Get this gun off my range. Don't bring it back on range.
Get this thing out of my class. Shot fired, undesired. Oops, now I got a hole in my boot. But it could have been a whole lot worse. Got hit with the 320 curse. Siggers running for the hills, taking copium pills, but it's them that's gonna leave in a hearse. Chicago PD drops a 320. Gonna cost them way too much money. When even Shire says no thanks, you know you got a problem. Got a sales rep column. $1 million is no small price. Gonna burn a hole in your pocket. Worse than the sickest dishonorable discharge. Is that a P320? Bro, is that a fucking Sig P320? Oh, is that a fucking Sig P320? Is that a P320? Get this thing out of my class and don't come back. Is that a P320? Bro, is that a fucking Sig P320? Don't come back. It's that a P320? Oh, is that a fucking Sig P320? Is that a P320? Oh, get this thing out of my class. Shots fired, undesired. Oops, now I got a hole in my boot. But it could have been a whole lot worse. Got hit with the 320 curse. Siggers running for the hills, taking copium pills, but it's them that's gonna leave in a hearse. Chicago PD drops a 320. Gonna cost them way too much money. When even Shire says no thanks, you know you got a problem. Got a sales rep column. $1 million is no small price. Gonna burn a hole in your pocket. Worse than the sickest dishonorable discharge. Is that a P320? Bro, is that a fucking Sig P320? Oh, is that a fucking Sig P320? Is that a P320?
Is that a fucking 320?
Yep.
All right. God damn it, dude. Get this gun off my range. Don't bring it back on range. God damn.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Very sorry we were late. I was trying to upload that intro to StreamYards, but then StreamYards has a size problem, and so I had to re-render it like 5 times to get it small enough to actually fit for some reason. But now we are live. How's your night going, Richard?
I too have size problems.
Yeah, dude, that's definitely not going to be mentioned. There it is. Science problem. Yep. All right, it's already up. Lost Arrow is asking for the pick, but I'm not sure which one that he's talking about. So I think for tonight, we are going to start with the Sig P320 doing 320 things, because that's a pretty hot topic right now. And because I've been meaning to talk about it for a while now, we're also going to talk about the FRT, specifically the Delta Team Tactical FRT, who makes it, and whether or not it's IP theft. Because I actually currently have one as well. It's sitting behind me in that red right hand 20-inch upper. So yeah, we'll cover all of that tonight. Oh, you sent it earlier. Did you send it on Discord, Arrow? Because I'll show it if you sent it on Discord, depending on what it is, I suppose. But you know, there seems to be a cycle with the 320s. You have a P320, someone says it explodes and goes off randomly, it's debunked / written off as incompetence, and then another video drops of a P320 going off in a holster. And the cycle repeats over and over and over again. Arrow, I don't have that message unless you sent it somewhere else. So yeah, we're talking SIGs and FRTs. The cycle repeats. Now, I don't know if I want to talk about this part. Yeah, a vintage meme. It is a good meme. They're all just coincidences, of course. Now, you guys know Trench Grenade, been on the channel, friend of the channel, of course. He has been defending Sig on this. I haven't watched these videos yet. He published 2 today. One of them on the Achilles P320 video, which we'll watch in just a second, and then one that is just responding to comment section, his own comment section, I should say, which might be funny to take a look at for a minute. It might be. All right.
Well,
Have you seen either of these videos? I should ask you, Richard.
I have not. I have been so busy lately.
Okay. Well, that's good because now neither of us have seen it. That should be good. Yeah, because lots of things happen. Now, the inciting incident is this one right here. This is the thing that kicked it all off. This is from Achilles Heel Tactical, which is, I believe they do training and instruction, that sort of thing. I'd never heard of them before today when this got shared around. Midwest 2A is showing off his pride flag. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And we'll just let this one play.
Like my demonstration, I want you guys. All right. Is that a fucking 320? Yep. All right. God damn it, dude. Get this gun off my range. Don't.
So the gun goes off in the guy's holster. That is the story. I believe it is an X5 Legion. Some other people added some additional context to it. So this is the guy in the blue shirt at the 7-second mark. Talk to the guys next to the shooter whose gun discharged, the RSO/hosts that were behind watching the line, and the guy whose gun went off. The guy didn't have his hands anywhere near the gun when it went off. The guy got extremely lucky. There was a hole in the side of his boot, which is crazy. Barely missed actually hitting his foot. One of the best and worst days of that guy's life. It also was not a stock Legion. It was at least a Spectre comp, as it had a flush fit comp, and the frame was Cerakoted or an aftermarket frame. Holster was a T1C, timber concealed MSB, if I recall correctly. Then somebody commented on one of Ben's videos. Ben did a video on this morning. Not a very flattering screenshot, but the comment is good. So this is Insta Nanners, who is the photography guy for Achilles Heel Tactical. He also does his own media company. He comments on there saying, "Hey, I'm AHT's media director, the one who filmed this. It was a X5 FCU and a Gray Guns trigger and slide. I also exclusively shoot P320s and have for 5+ years. I am now switching after seeing this firsthand and realizing it was not user error and the gun was not touched at all." So this is a hardcore SIGA. This guy has been repping SIG for 5+ years on the 320. Not quite a early adopter, but he's had some serious time on it and switching after he has one go off in class. And man, I have a 320 on my desk. It's unloaded, of course, but it is not very confidence inspiring. So actually, before we move on, we're going to watch that one just so that everybody have.
God damn. Like my demonstration, I want you guys. All right. Is that a fucking 320? Yep. All right. God damn it, dude. Get this gun off my range. Don't bring it back.
Yeah, that is not a good time for anybody. Now that little meme song that I made, that will be uploaded by itself to the Out of Focus Clips channel. I think it's already there, just undergoing checks for monetization or whatnot. But that should be up later. So if you want just that intro song, it should be up there at some point.
Eventually going to create our own SIG playlist.
Yeah, well, we actually will eventually, because I think we have 2 so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have the coping and seething one. We have the SV89 one, or the West one. I forget who made that one, but yeah, we have a couple dedicated SIG ones. Now, Huge Ass for $4.99 says, "Siggers keep walking, hard R. This is a HK neighborhood." Well, I don't think this is an HK neighborhood, but I appreciate the $4.99. Thank you, Huge Ass. Mitzvot TV for $4.99 says, "I love how the ATF goes after peaceful people when they have whole communities in Chicago and LA that have switches." Well, yes, but those are the right type of people, right? And I mean, they crack down on some of those, but yes, certain ones are not helpful to the statistics, so they kind of leave them alone. And I saw that you sent me a new email, Mitzvot, so I will take a look at that, good sir, and thank you for the $4.99. Sig is in the chat. Of course, Sig Sauer says, "Of course he's late. The only thing that happens in a timely manner is our 320s exploding." That's right. This show, not very dependable. 320 is going off. Very dependable. Thank you, Mr. Sig, for the $4.99. Sig Sauer for $1.99 says StreamYard, the Taurus of video streaming. You take that back. Although it wasn't a StreamYard's issue. Well, it kind of was. They didn't want to accept the intro. Logan sucks at shooting for a ridiculous $50 because he has way more money than common sense. Says, just for that intro, fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. Fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji, fire emoji. Thank you very much for the $50, sir. That is ridiculous. Sig for $1.99 again says Rosa Parks sat for your right to P320. I don't know how those two things are related, but that is very funny to think about that timeline that Rosa Parks directly led to the creation of the 320. Sig again for $49 says, oh, great. Corky is defending us. We've bottomed out. You don't got many left, Sig. So, you gotta take what allies you can get in this troubled time for you.
Allies.
Irish soap, yeah, Sig allies. I'm a ally for the Sigas out there. Irish soap for $4.99 says Sig will now enter its final stage of grief, acceptance. It's not a feature. It's a feature, not a bug. P320 Auto Legion with challenge coin. That will be $1,500, please. That would actually be very funny if they called one of their models the Auto. Because, it'd be fitting. Appreciate that, sir. Sig again for $4.99 says, unloaded on your desk, a 320 still possibly can explode. It's not entirely impossible, but at least less likely because it is sitting there, just sitting there. I haven't even shot it yet. I'll probably shoot it on Tuesday.
Still a greater than zero chance.
Still greater than zero chance. Jake asks for a Halo stream, and we will do one at some point. We have to do one at some point. Oh, that's a good one. Shadow Force CQB says, Shadow Force PB, says the challenge coin is a tourniquet. That's good. That's good.
Mm.
That's a good one.
Yeah, the real challenge is will you get it on in time?
Right, that puts the real challenge in challenge coin. All right, let's see here. So we have, I think, 7 years ago now at this point, the Chicago Police Department puts the P320 on the list of approved duty pistols. This is an article from 2018 from guns.com going over it. If you're not familiar, the Chicago Police Department, I think, is the second largest in the nation with approximately 12,000 police officers, which makes them like top 20 well-funded militaries in the world, or top 50 or something like that. I know New York's is something ridiculous. Like New York City's their police force has like the budget of like many smaller countries' militaries, which is quite funny.
Yeah.
But they have 12,000 officers, and the P320 was put on the list of approved duty pistols. And then just the other day, this article was getting shared around, and I did a video on this earlier that'll be coming out tomorrow on the Gun.Deals channel, but I was trying to find the source. Where are these people actually getting this information from? This article claims, as of a week ago, Chicago cops slammed with sudden ban on the Sig Sauer P320, and the officers will pay the price. So they are alleging that the 320 is getting kicked out of the Chicago PD. So up to 12,000 officers, obviously not all 12,000 carry the P320, but those that do, it will be banned from service in their PD. Yes, I did find the sauce. We will go over that in just a second. So, in a move that's rocking the rank and file, the Chicago Police Department has abruptly banned the use of the once trusted Sig P320 pistol as an authorized duty weapon. The order came down swiftly, leaving thousands of officers scrambling. The official reason? Alarming reports that the weapon can fire without the trigger being pulled. The Sig P320 has a documented pattern of discharges, which is not a great phrase, many occurring while holstered. Lawsuits are piling up, and the manufacturer continues to deny fault, but the incidents are too numerous, too consistent, and too dangerous to ignore. Richard, do you remember specifically how many days it's been since it ended?
A little over 2 weeks, maybe 3. I would have to check the exact specifics.
So we're 2 to 3 weeks after it ended. And, now the decision made at the top, so we will go through the actual video because there is a source for this. And it is this video from the FOP Chicago Lodge number 7. This gentleman has apparently inside information, and he goes over it in his TGIF 173 video, right? So this is the source. I think the first 4 minutes cover everything of interest, so we're just going to mostly just let it play and comment where we need to.
All right.
All right, TGI Friday. Let's start out with this Sig 320 issue. To all officers carrying a Sig 320 as a primary or secondary weapon, we are aware that the Advisory Committee for Chicago Police Department has voted to basically stop approving use of that weapon going forward. The department is currently apparently trying to figure out how to implement that recommendation. New hires and recruits will not be allowed to purchase that weapon, but existing members, they're trying to figure out how to phase them out. Seems ridiculous while we're having a conversation in City Hall today about liability and police tactics and lawsuits, that this department would not have a plan to basically immediately cease use of a weapon that they voted to discontinue and have a plan to reimburse members to purchase a different weapon to meet compliance. But they don't. We've been aware of this process for a few weeks now. We made an initial suggestion to the department to try and expedite the process, but apparently nothing in this city moves at any realistic pace of progress. So where we're at now is Management Labor Affairs was sent a secondary and basically final offer that officers carrying that as a primary weapon should receive reimbursement up to $1,000 for a new weapon.
So to kind of round things out, to make it a little more succinct from this gentleman, essentially, it's already been decided, apparently, by the guys in the background that it's going to be banned. Now they're arguing about money. How do we replace all of these officers? Because, again, they have 12,000 total officers. Not sure how many actually use the P320, but where is the money going to be coming from to actually replace these guys' primary weapons if we ban them, right? Because they have to carry something. It ain't going to be a 320 anymore. So where is that going to be coming from? And now, as you can imagine, Chicago's got some problems, right? So they spend millions and millions of dollars on all sorts of other problems, but fixing their officer's main weapon is apparently not a big enough concern for them. And just going to talk about some of the lawsuits that they have as well.
That meets the standard and department guidelines, along with a holster and magazines. Officers carrying it as a secondary weapon, you would be compensated to a much lesser level. It is not a primary weapon, so that's where we're at. Still haven't got an answer from the city on that. But by our rough calculations, there's a little over 1,000 officers in that combined primary, secondary status. That is less than $1 million to basically make all members whole. Think about that. And here we are talking about a $1.2 million settlement for someone who attempted to kill 5 police officers, as if this is a tough decision. The city should absolutely immediately make this a reality. If something happens with one of these weapons, they're going to try and throw people under the bus, including the officer carrying that weapon, through no fault of their own, when they know there's a supposed issue with this, and they've even said it needs to stop being used. But the department that works, what a progress. Onward. City Council this morning.
So that is the entire 320 part. So apparently the plan is to give these roughly 1,000 officers or more, roughly $1,000 to swap out their primary weapon, holster, magazines, right? All of the kit that goes along with it. Now, personally, I have a 320. If somebody offered me $1,000 to swap that out, I think that would be quite nice. I would not have much of a problem with that, being given $1,000 to switch over to Glock, MNP, or I mean, some of you weirdos might choose like a CZ or something strange, but oh well.
I think it's great because it's going to require more than just the pistol, right? They're going to need a new holster, of course, probably going to squeeze in a new light, something else, you know.
Maybe, but I mean, usually if it's just unless it's a Glock and you need a different Glock because Glock has a special rail. So, like, let's see, a Glock 17 blue label plus a Surefire X300 plus a holster plus like 6 to 10 magazines is probably right at $1,000 for a blue label Glock, right? Because all these guys will get access to all the police pricing on stuff. So yeah, as long as Ninja says police issued PSA dagger, as long as it's not a dagger. But no, I think $1,000 should cover all of the kit to a reasonable level for these guys. And again, for the officers, maybe they really like the P320, but at least you are getting that money back, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like you're getting rid of the gun either. It's just getting replaced. So you can still do whatever it is that Chicago PD officers do with their 320 after hours, but you just can't do it on duty, right?
I think that this should be a prime opportunity for them to put their money where their mouth is for a gun buyback. The city should buy them back at full price, right? They should take the pistols from them and they should be destroyed. They shouldn't be allowed to be back out onto the streets and be sold.
Then I kind of disagree with that just because like there are cars that are it's a tough line. How do you say something you can't sell?
No, you're not. It's not that you can't sell it. They're buying it back off of them, right? If they're going to give them $1,000 for it, they should take the pistol in return and destroy it.
I'm not sure if they're taking it, because again, then they have to take possession of somebody else's property. That gets into a whole weird gray area thing. But I don't think that just sounds like a lot of bureaucratic waste. Although, I mean, to be fair, they might want to do that sort of thing.
It's just another gun buyback. That's all it is.
Right, but I don't know why they would put that on specifically for their officers rather than just give them a flat $1,000 bonus, and it's just cost of upgrading or whatnot. But yeah, I think blue label guys, if they're going for a Glock with the new Koa or something like that, I think somebody posted that in the chat. It's probably a really good way to go, and that's going to hand Glock about $1 million. So,
they might need it for their new lawsuit.
Glock's lawsuit? What do they do now?
They're now being sued for roles in mass casualty events.
Oh yeah, well that's never fun. Because I mean, whether you win or lose, it's about making you bleed money. You
still lose. It doesn't matter.
There's no winning if it goes to trial. All right, Mitchell Black for $4.99 says, Sickers 420. And let it be known that no word or media shall go unopinionated without the input of U.S. Army Drill Sergeant Trench Grenade. Now, let's pull this one back up. Just so, because there's now 550 people here. Let's watch this again real fast, just so everybody's on the same page. This is the video that kicked all of this off.
Back on the run. God damn. Like my demonstration, I want you guys. All right. Is it a fucking 320? Yep. All right. God damn it, dude. Get this gun off my range. Don't bring it back on the range. God damn.
So that is the video that is from Achilles Heels Tactical during a training session. According to multiple people that were there, next to the guy, the camera person, everybody that was there, according to all of them, it was a X5 with a couple little modified parts on it. Should still be safe, right? Should still be a safe gun. That doesn't invalidate the safety features that should exist on a P320 and should be operating. But it went off without any input, sitting in the holster, right? Big no-no. Please don't do that. So that's where the meme from, bro, is that a P320? And then him just saying, get off my range, or not to the guy. He can probably come back with a different gun, but yeah, just that gun is not going to be allowed here anymore. And they officially, I think they said in their Instagram post specifically,
no more.
They said, yeah, moving forward, we will no longer allow Sig Sauer. They tagged Sig, bold move. You should do that. P320s in our classes here at AHT. Today, while training in Knoxville, Tennessee, a student's stock Sig P320 Legion discharge while holstered inside of a 320. Now, again, it wasn't entirely stock, so that's not entirely accurate. There was like, it had the different trigger in there, and it was the X5 frame or something like that. But point being, it should still be a safe gun. It shouldn't go off on its own, right? And so they do not allow those anymore. Now, the bullet, very fortunately, did not hit the student, but it did put a hole in his boot. So it was very, very close to absolutely possibly ruining that guy's life. I mean, like getting shot in the ankle or the foot or something like that with a bullet going straight down the bone, just sounds like a horrible time. And I would hate to lose the ability to walk right for the rest of my life because of Sig's incompetence. Some Indian mimed part didn't fit properly. Like, thanks, guys.
I love that sounds like a slur.
If you say it hard enough, man, you can make anything sound like a slur. But now I haven't watched these, so I think this will be funny to watch. The Achilles P320 video proves nothing from Trench, because I haven't seen these, so I think this might be fun. And then there's also a 30-minute follow-up video that's an angry rant reading his comments. I think it could be fun for a few minutes. I don't want to go through the whole thing, but I want to see what he says. But before we do, Sig for $4.99 says, "Bleed money. You'll definitely bleed with us. Go 320." It's a good slogan. I'm trying to think of something catchy to go with that.
Catchy, like catch a bullet in the foot.
Ooh, there you go. Catchy, like a bullet from a 320, like a bullet from a holster 320. Yeah. The only it's like playing Russian roulette with a magazine-fed pistol. Is it going to shoot you, or is it going to shoot what you're aiming at? You never know. You never know. All right, but I'm actually curious what he's going to say about this.
The internet versus Sig Sauer. The battle continues. Did it end today? What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Trench Grenade channel. I'm going to be reading you my initial thoughts on the alleged uncommanded discharge that happened in a holster in a course that I have posted in a short and on my Instagram feed that Ben Steger posted on his channel and made me aware of this incident. Now, I want to read you my initial thoughts, and then I want to expand on them a little bit because the internet is going crazy with this video that just popped up of a Sig P320 Legion stock version in the holster going off allegedly in the holster. So I'm going to read you my initial thoughts that I posted, and then I'm going to expand on them a little bit.
What does he mean allegedly in the holster? Like, according to the witnesses that were there, his hands were nowhere near the gun, and it was in the holster.
Here for you guys. If you enjoy this type of content, hit the like button, comment down below your thoughts on the alleged Sig P320 uncommanded discharge. Okay, my initial thoughts on this Sig P320 alleged uncommanded discharge in the holster. This video looks kind of staged, my dude. People are handling weapons outside of the holster while the instructor is downrange giving a block of instruction. Gun goes off. Instructor immediately assumes P320. He states it out loud. That's
staged. That's a strange I wasn't gonna go with that angle, but staged. All right, that's an allegation to throw out there to like a big time trainer company that they staged a 320. Richard, man,
Randy said it, not me.
Yeah, that is funny. Yeah, I was not expecting staged. French. I mean, I'm sure he'll message me, but I was not expecting staged. Like, you think legitimately a training company was like, I'm going to stage a 320 going off, or at least you think that's a possibility.
Yeah, that's almost like the people that were saying that the Trump shooting was staged. It's like, dude, put a
staging
hole in his shoe.
Discharges with live ammo is a bold strategy, Cotton.
Well, it worked for Alec Baldwin, so I mean,
are the comments not good at this?
Suspicious to me. He immediately assumes P320 and walks in front of the firing line. That is also suspicious. If a weapon,
well, he was already in front of the firing line. If we watch the video again, we have it right here.
Like my demonstration, I want you guys.
And again, I don't know where he says that people are handling firearms.
Yeah, I didn't see it at all, and
So, like, literally everybody looks to where the shot happens from, right?
The fucking 320.
And he's not he's in front of the firing line, but that's where he was. Everybody's looking confused, like, what happened?
Yep. All right. God damn it.
And then he takes the gun. Again, I think this guy is touching his firearm, but it is still in a holster. But I don't see anybody handling firearms.
Well, that one guy there could be worried that his P320 might be about to do the same thing.
Right. I mean, maybe.
I don't see it being
That's a big
staged.
stretch. I mean, if so, that's wild. That would be wild. I mean, it would be a way to generate some press. But I mean, if we look at Achilles Heels Tactical, sorry, let's get out of here. They have 80,000 followers already, so it's not like they're a small guy trying to get it off. And I mean, they make high quality, good looking content. I had never heard of them before today, but I mean, they're like dudes. They're like regular people, right? And I mean, so the guy Tanners, I think he's tagged in here. So the guy doing the filming, Insta Tanners, this guy, I mean, he's owns a media company. He does really high quality stuff. So I mean, staging it, man, that's a big allegation. And again, I don't even know if I agree with Trench's assessment of the situation. Like, I've been at classes with Ben Stager, where guess what? He's in front of everybody talking to people. That's how it goes. You're on the firing line, all the guns are holstered, and he's talking, demoing, showing you what you're going to do, explaining the drill, whatever it happens to be, right? It's just it's pretty normal. And Barassi says that's a dangerous stage. Like, no. Shooting next to somebody is not dangerous. If you are incompetent enough to where you can theoretically shoot somebody next to you, you should not be on the, if this is what you're referencing, you should not be at the training class. Yeah, the instructor does kind of seem like an asshole. Like, he seems mad, right? He's mad that although, I mean, maybe he thinks he just got shot at, right? Which maybe he's pissed off because of that. But he does not. First guy on the run has unholstered, hand on gun.
Like my demonstration, I want you guys.
Well, no, I'm pretty sure that's in a holster. Oh no, you're right. You're right. That is a gun in the holster. But it's also possible that they just finished a training session, so he is standing in front after they just finished a string of fire or something. He steps in front. So if that's what happened, like, I would prefer to be behind until everybody's holstered. But I mean, this guy, he seems a bit aggressive, so maybe that's his style. Maybe that's his style.
All right.
Wait, let's go on, because the staged. This is the first time I've heard of the staged argument.
Goes off on the firing line, why would you walk in front? Now, I know a lot of this is going to be range procedures and not necessarily the gun itself, but we're going to get to that. He walks in front of the firing line, grabs the gun, clears it without any sort of caution or hesitation, doesn't check for injuries at all, at least not.
That I agree with. He doesn't seem to care at all. He never even asked. I don't think anybody in that asked, are you all right? Are you okay? Did you get shot?
I think they probably know that if he got shot, right? He probably wouldn't be standing there like...
Some people in shock, they do not know that they have an injury for, seconds, minutes, whatever it might be, right? And I mean, the guy has a hole in his boot. Like, you guys remember the Gungus Khan, when his went off in his holster and bounced off of his knife, he thought he had been shot. Because of the pain, the shock, whatever was going on, he was like, oh, I think I've been shot. I think I've been shot. But turns out, fortunately for him, left a bruise, but nothing else.
Just kicks dude off the range, says, do not come back on the range with that gun. Kicks the dude off the range, says, don't bring that gun back onto my range at all. Next day, announces no more Sig P320s at his courses. That's fine. He's allowed to do that. It's just weird, the series of events. Then I go into, I've been instructing professionally for 3 years now, full time, a total of 13 years active duty, senior NCO, airborne dude, drill sergeant leader, blah.
Trench does recite his history in like every video, which is just funny. Not that that's like a bad thing to do, especially if it's relevant to the conversation, but it is something he mentions like every single time.
blah, blah, blah. And I say, and this looks odd. I have seen NDs, 80s, guns cook off, runaway machine guns, gas blocks explode, added battery detonations, and the list goes on. I've seen barrels melt. I've seen all kinds of crazy stuff happen in Arctic environment. I've seen, if you name it, I've probably seen it on a flat range or in a training environment somewhere. All this to say is I've been responsible and witnessed hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of rounds go down range, both machine gun and rifle and handgun, right? The way
I think Boone is Sig. I think this guy is a paid Sig shield. Not hard to reason why it would be staged. The same reason why these gun tubers, engagement hacking grifters, okay, Sig, inflate drama on here that is usually nothing but gets clicks and attention. I mean, that's a take one could have. It is, again, it is strange. Like staging a Sig 320 going off in a classroom when your cameraman, the guy filming it all, is like he's been a Sig user for the last 5+ years. It's all he shoots, and then he's saying he's switching away. That's a lot to do for a stage. And all of your classmates, all of the people there, all like 30, 40 students, there's a lot of people there. They're all just gonna like go along with the stage. Like, I don't know, man. It seems odd. It's the one stage that I have seen is that what's this? Statement from AHT. Okay, so this is a good one. I didn't realize that they had done this. I will look at that. So the one thing that I do think, I don't remember if you remembered that we did this, but it was a long time ago. You saw the PSA Saber cook-off video where those guys were kind of being retarded and like letting it cook off into the air. Like that's people being retarded for clicks and views, not like a trainer at a training class who already has like an established business. Like,
well,
that seems like a stretch.
It's a follow-up to someone getting being dumped for clicks and views, because if you remember, that was also the same guy who had his previous PSA blow up on him, and PSA immediately got into the comments section and said, "Oh, somebody slipped a 300 blackout round into your box of Winchester ammo."
Well, I think Trench, I think you said that it possibly could be staged. There was you mentioned some word about staged or fake, which is interesting again because I've never heard that. That was the first time I'd heard of that. Oh, well, should we keep watching
the
this?
instructors and firing line is acting just seems slightly odd, and the actions taken by the primary instructor seem a bit suspicious from the Monday morning quarterback perspective. That's me, the Monday morning quarterback, or in this case, the Sunday morning quarterback. If it is,
well, actually, let me. We can do this the old-fashioned way, gentlemen. We can look at the transcript.
Yeah.
The video looks kind of staged. That is Trench's words at 50 seconds. In the holster, this video looks kind of staged. My dude, people are handling weapons. Yeah, so looks kind of staged. That's the phrasing, which doesn't mean that he thinks it is 100%, but just looks kind of. Okay.
Legit, it just looks sus. That is all. So yeah, a lot of that is range procedures, right? But if I were to, let me just secure if I were to cook off a round with my Glock 19, it would be very odd for you guys to just walk in front of the firing line and figure out who has their weapon out and who is cooking off rounds, right? So that is
yeah, I'm not sure about in that situation because like
you're already out in front.
Right, he was already standing there, which again, the guy, the instructor guy kind of seems like a little bit of a dick, but like, you know, everybody has their different instructor, you know, preferences and styles, I guess. But I mean, he was already in front of the firing line while that guy was reholstering, which is like, you know, mildly apropos, one could say. Usually you would wait for everybody to be holstered just so you're not standing in front of unholstered guns, like especially like if you don't know the skill level of everyone there or what they're carrying, because some of them might have unsafe firearms. So that seems a little odd. But once the gun goes off, everybody immediately stops, looks at the guy, right? And after they look at the guy, the gun is obviously not out, right? It's not in his hands pointed somewhere where that's a threat. It's just, we all heard the boom. Where's the gun? The gun happens to be in the holster, right? So it's less serious than if somebody was fiddling with the gun out in front of him and got around to go off, right? Because you look at the guy and his hands are up and he's like, I don't know, bro. I didn't do it.
The first thing that I think is odd is dude cooks off allegedly in the holster. Dude cooks off round, right? And then dude just walks in front of the firing line, doesn't give a
Well, again, he was already in front of the firing line.
Lock and clear all weapons, doesn't say make them safe, let them hang, doesn't, say lock and clear all weapons in holster, show clear in holster.
Probably already
doesn't
did
say
that.
anything. He just walks down the firing line. I understand that's a range-ism. Bless you.
Yeah, I think it might be that it is maybe weird, but maybe that's just that guy's style. So, but they do have
he could have also already told everybody to unload holster cold range. That could have happened. The
but we do see, as Trench did point out, there was one guy who was like just reholstering his gun as he was already in front. So that was happening. I mean, if Trench wants to come on and talk about it, he's more than welcome to. So, Richard, I think you can send him an invite, can't you?
Let me see here. I think I can.
Yeah, I'll put the link in the private chat.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. But while we're doing that, let me pull up this one that you just sent me, which is apparently this is 1 hour ago. So I didn't even see this when I was doing all the research. Sig P320 debrief and statement. Moving forward, we will no longer allow Sig Inc. P320s in our classes here at AHT. Yesterday, while training, blah, 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 Knoxville, student stock, due to safety. Okay, so it's the exact same thing, but let's listen to what this guy actually has to say.
Hey guys, it's Rick, and I'm just wanting to jump on here to make a quick statement with this video, just addressing the things that happened this weekend at our performance baseline pistol course. I want to cover what happened on camera and the actions that I took place and the priorities levels that I had, including the student's safety, as well as address what happened off camera, the things you guys can't see. So within that video, what happens after I'm clearly debriefing a drill that we just ran and that I just demonstrated.
Okay, so yeah, that's what I theorized. They had just finished a line of fire. So as everybody's reholstering, he steps in front, right? So whether you step in front after everybody's holstered or while they're reholstering, his personal style, fine. Who cares? It is his class, so he can kind of do what he wants as long as he's not endangering other people. If he wants to put himself in danger, that's a you thing.
Hey, we all hear that bang, right? I look to the right. I've seen this student running the 320 all day just fine, drawing from holster, returning to holster with a clear understanding of how to be safe with a firearm. When I ask him, was that P320? And everyone else then answers yes, I immediately start walking to that student. And as I get about a foot away from him, realize that he is not injured. There's a hole in the ground. And I look from that hole to his foot. And as I am about a foot away from him, he starts to then go and get the gun out of the holster. I then say, give me that gun. I unload it and show clear. I tell him to get this gun off my range. And from there, what you guys can't see because the video cuts off, is we then go into our after action. My assistant instructor, Shane, was right there to immediately address the student as he walked off the line. And we took a nice break from there to just address everyone and make sure everyone was safe and give that little pause to make sure that everyone could collect themselves before we get back to training. After Shane did his assessment with our 2 RSOs present and making sure that this student was, yes, okay, 100% not injured, yes, absolutely shaken up, we continue training on with the day. So I just wanted to make this video to complete this statement. It's not just justifying what I said, how I said it, or the actions that I made or took, but I wanted to make it very clear that student safety is our #1 priority, and their students' well-being, especially with an incident like this, is my #1 priority. But these guns will not be tolerated in these classes at my training center or at our training events any longer. All right.
Now, I don't know if it goes on any further, but there is a comment here up top from Hunter Constantine, who is a Grandmaster shooter. I've met him. He does actually good training content, big Smith & Wesson shill, but he also really likes their stuff. So no problems there. He says, I absolutely enjoyed the ATH classes I've attended. I never felt unsafe or felt like the instructors operated unsafely. It's clear that you, Rick, can visually see that no one was injured in the first video. Otherwise, the response would have been much different. Yeah, that's the only thing that I'm still like, that seems a little awkward, is that nobody, at least in the video that we see, asks the guy like, hey, are you all right? Because I mean, for all you know, if a bullet goes into your leg or into your pants and then hits you, like if you have baggy pants on, you can't even tell where it's hit, you can't even see the blood yet or something like that. Like nobody even asks until after the video, apparently. Now, when he says his, let me pull back up this one. So this is the actual clip, him walking back up to the guy with the 320.
Okay, 320. Yep.
And I believe that guy in the background, that's his instructor buddy helping out. That's Shane, I think, the guy that he mentions in the video. I think.
God damn it, dude. Get this gun off my range.
Yeah, so, I mean, that guy seems a little harsh. But, you know, if that's just the style, that's the style. I don't know if he says anything else. Yeah, let's listen to this.
This video is just going to serve as that. It's a statement of facts based off of a first-hand account witnessing this. It does have us all shaken up. So, all right. Appreciate your guys' time.
Okay, so that's basically the end of that. Z Church 66 says, wait, I attended this class on this day, and this happened and was on the line. The entire line was holstered except for one guy, and including the P320 when it happened. As a firearms instructor for LE myself, Rick did just fine, and how I would have handled it, he immediately, removed the issue, in this case, the P320 from the range, and then he had Shane, the other instructor, walk the student and do a complete assessment of him down to making him remove his boots to ensure he was physically good. Yeah, that's the only thing that we didn't see was just the actual, like, hey, student man who paid to be here, are you all right? That's the only thing we missed, but, you know, say love you. Sig Sauer for $4.99. Did you send him an invite, or are you just sitting on it?
I sent it.
Richard, your mic was cutting in and out again. He's doing the robot thingy. Oh, there he is. Perfect. Trent is here. All right. Let me
test.
Oh, you put him up. Okay. All right, let's pull this down. Trent, how's it going?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Sound good?
Okay, so I forgot which point I joined. I was half asleep, and I literally woke up in like a fever dream of my own voice on the screen. It's like, oh my God,
that's funny.
What is happening? Focus. Why right now?
That's a weird dream to wake. Well, so yours was the first time that I heard anybody say anything about staged. Like, so I hadn't seen that before. Is that an actual like theory? Because I saw other people in the comments now that I look at them being like, oh, this looks kind of staged.
Dude, so today has been a weird day for this. So I woke up, whatever, on vacation, just returned from vacation. I hit up Ben this morning, and long story short, he posted this video this morning and saying like, it's real. So I texted him privately. I was like, is this real? Do you know these guys? We had it back and forth. He called me a moron, and I'm like, okay, dude, if that, like, I have pretty good respect for Ben, right? But I was like, listen, like, what's happening in this video doesn't make any sense. Let's just talk about the assistant instructor by himself. The assistant instructor is standing about 15 feet directly behind the alleged shooter who had a gun go off in the holster. The assistant instructor, or in this case would be the range safety officer, literally does not move. He does not move. He does not make a correction. He just stands there. So that is flag number one. Point number two, the primary instructor goes downrange before a ceasefire and holster is called. Shooter to the direct.
Let me slow down just that point, because I think from his explanation, they did a drill, they ended, so there was already a ceasefire and holster called while he's in front. I think.
Right. So even when that is called, let's give them every benefit of the doubt. Let's say the ceasefire and holster is called, right? Let's say that happened. The shooter to the exact right of the PAO, right? The public affairs guy, the cameraman, the first shooter has his weapon in what we would call condition 3. He is still oriented downrange, and the primary instructor zooms downrange. That is an indication to me, or any instructor out there, that there is a poor range procedure happening here. So does this have anything to do with the 320? No, unless the way the range was being ran was causing undue stress on shooters and the uncertainty, right? The instructor begins instructing while people still have their weapon in a condition 3 status, oriented downrange, and he begins talking about whatever, and then boom, you hear the gun go off. And then this is where I have the second or third most important issue with it, right? Number two being the primary instructor is downrange before the firing line is clear. And I just heard you as I was trying to join. That's why I was like, well, if they're going to talk shit or whatever's going on here, let me get in here, because you had stated, well, you had been to classes with Ben before, where plenty of people were downrange. People can be downrange while your weapon is what's called make them safe, let them hang, or safe and holster. No, you cannot be downrange when you are directly handling a weapon on target. No, you will not go downrange. That, regardless of your level of training, it's make it safe, let it hang, or whatever. You can have live ammo.
So to your point, I think this is the frame. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I think this is what you had mentioned that I didn't notice until I heard it in your video.
I'm working off the phone. Yeah.
No, you're good. But I'm just for everybody watching. So this gun,
that's a gun.
You can barely see it, but yeah, that is a gun that is currently, it looks like it's pointed into the holster, but it is not quite holstered yet. So if you take it back a couple seconds, we can't see it. It might be coming down while the instructor's in front, and the instructor's pretty darn close. So, I mean, like I think I said earlier, if it were me, I wouldn't step in front of the line until everybody's holstered, because I don't know who any of these people are.
Yeah.
Right? But this guy seems a little aggressive.
Okay, so, and that was what my point was. He begins instructing prior to, there could be more rounds going down range, right? Maybe someone's finishing a course of fire, which is fine. That's totally acceptable, right? But maybe a dude on the left or a dude on the right is finishing their course of fire, and wait till rounds are done. Good on the left, good on the right, firing line is clear. Boom, begin instructing. But instead, it seems like what happened, like Richard was commenting a second ago, we don't know what was called. We don't know if ceasefire was called. We don't know what the command was called, or if any command was called, or if you just started talking, right? But what we do know is this: the assistant instructor did nothing to correct the issue, right? The primary instructor was downrange while people were still handling guns. So we have two major issues, right? And then here's the biggest red flag in the room. Gun goes off in the Army, in a private course, whatever course you want. Gun goes off when it's not supposed to go off. You do not walk down the firing line. You walk behind muzzles, not in front of muzzles, because you don't know what you're walking into. You don't know if you have a gun that's cooking off. You don't know if you have a runaway gun, like a machine gun. You don't know if that Sig P320
in this case, they know it's a pistol. Right.
But even then, you don't know what the scenario. So
I agree with you from a safety perspective and like what I would like to see. But this instructor, his specific style might be putting him at more risk than I would personally feel comfortable with. But again, I don't know if this guy is just like retarded, if that's his style or whatnot. And I agree with you on the points that like, if a gun goes off, am I just going to walk in front of everybody or, maybe make a slightly different decision? And as he says, like everybody was kind of in shock or something like that. Yeah, it is an odd situation. And I don't know if just from this specific video, if I jive with the instructor personally. Again, nobody asks if the guy is even okay until, again, all that stuff allegedly happens off camera right afterwards. And you're right, the second in command guy just stands there the entire time. He doesn't approach the shooter. So like, for instance, I've seen people get DQ'd on stages for doing something stupid. What happens is both of the RSOs go up like right next to the guy immediately and like resolve the issue and make it safe for everybody else.
Right. I mean,
but in here you kind of have a gun go off and everybody just stares for a second and nobody says anything until the guy's like pretty close.
Which is fine. I've witnessed hundreds probably, right, of negligent discharges, mainly with the M4A1 or with the M249 SAR, the M240 Bravo. And it's always the same. Really quiet. Boom. What the fuck? Everyone looks down. Lock and clear all weapons. RSO rips into guy gets tearing off range. Boom, dude gets UCMJ or whatever. It's always the same. Everyone's nervous. Everyone's a little shaky because it's whatever, right? And everyone knows everyone's in trouble. So that part of the video, I've seen comments of guys being like, why was it so quiet after a gun went off? That's stupid. No one is going after the instructor as far as like anything like that. What I think the point is, and where it looks a little finicky, and the major issue I had was the methodology of instruction was a little bit off, and it seems like it could have caused undue stress on the shooter, which no excuse if the dude did crack one off, which I think happened. I think it was a negligence of the shooter. Not
okay. Well, so let's talk about that. So you think that the guy was actually actively handling his firearm and cooked
Unfortunately,
him up.
right. So unfortunately,
That is your belief. Okay.
So unfortunately, I had to do a follow-up video on this video because I was so passionate about
Right, yeah,
this.
we talked about that. There's a 30-minute follow-up video to the video we were just looking at.
Because a lot of guys that were on that firing line that you're seeing in that video have been contacting me. And a lot of these individuals can't agree on what type of SIG was fired. Was it holstered? Was it unholstered? Were guys on the firing line told to holster up? Were guys told not to holster up? To the point where it's all coming out of the woodwork now, baby. And they can't even agree on the sworn statements. So regardless of
there aren't any sworn statements. They're just different
you know what I mean?
reports. I know what you're saying.
Somebody was running a camera the whole time, though.
Right. And Ben, this is where I had the issue, right? Because Ben was like, Ben basically was like, well, Trent, you're a moron. This is just, the SIGs just go off. And my argument is this video, if we took just this video and just those 7 statements, right? This video proves 0 things about the Sig P320. It proves exactly 0.
It proves one thing.
I have a question about that. So the witnesses who say that he was holstered at the time, is everybody in on it? Because it looks like there's like 20 plus students there. So is some everybody guys in on the stage?
Some guys say everyone was holstered up at the time. Some guys say not everyone was told to holster. Some guys, I'm trying to think of everything right now. Some guys say he wasn't even touching the gun at all. Some guys say he was touching it, but that shouldn't have been an issue of why a gun would go off. See what I'm saying?
So to be clear, touching but holstered.
Touching but holstered. So I can't manipulate any weapon right now, but touching the grip, which is consistent with Sig P320 issues, right? But the issue I have with it is the internet, myself included, everyone in this chat, Richard, Focus, everyone reading this, we are all guilty of jumping on a bandwagon when there's hype. What happened in this particular case is what seemed like a relatively credible instructor says, hey, this happened. Sig P320s are no longer allowed. Ben takes it, Ben posts it. My smaller channel and like some offshoot of this sees it, posts it, start realizing some inconsistencies with range procedures and realizing this doesn't show anything actual footage of the gun. So we don't know what happened off camera. We don't know if the dude actually did actuate the trigger. We don't know if he was manipulating it. Not his fault, obviously his fault if the gun went off in the holster. It's not his fault, but we don't know if he, turned it or whatever. The point is, before we all jump down and say SIG sucks, we already know SIG sucks. But to not make ourselves look like assholes, how about, hear me out, we digest the footage. If it's not applicable to the case of SIG P320 sucks, why don't we just, hey, look at what happened and move on, and then use it as an anecdote, not as this proves it. Because what the internet is trying to do right now is this video proves it.
Right. So, and I think I get what you're pointing at, because the video doesn't, the problem with the video is you hear the sound, you see everything after, but you don't actually see what was going on with the gun, which does leaves like that much. It leaves that much black, gray area, whatever you want to call it, where we don't actually know what he was doing 100%. We have the witness reports, right? And we have, what everybody says happened, but not like direct video evidence. And again, so like you say, the ones that I've seen, I haven't seen any of the ones saying that he was touching the gun yet, but the ones that I've personally seen have not said that he was touching it at all when it went off. That's what I've heard is his hands.
And that's another thing I would like to bring up to the group. Richard,
do you have a DM from somebody that verified?
They're in my comments. There. So I have 3 separate videos, unfortunately, on this thing. I have a short that shows the incident. I have the video you were just watching. I just flipped you off. And then I have the follow up to the madness. If you go through, it would take a minute, but you would have to go through replies. Dude, it would say something along the lines of, dude, I was on this range and this happened in Tennessee. Or dude, I was there and whatever anecdote, whatever story, they're in the comments. That's going to obviously pop up with a reply. So you'll see it, and then you'll see a reply of where I replied,
right, I'm
below
looking
it. God be with you.
You got a lot of comments on this one. It's good.
God be with you going through these comments. Yeah. Focus.
Well, Well, you did a 30-minute video response on these comments, right?
That video is significantly better than the one you were watching, by the way. Because honestly, the reaction to this incident is, okay, this instructor is great or this instructor is horrible. It's like, okay, no one really cares. What matters more is the actual condition of the gun, right? So for everyone to say like it happened again, we got to be careful before we know the facts. The biggest issue I had with the instructor was he jumped to, is that a Sig P320? Not, are you literally shot in the femoral, or is anyone shot? Right, that was the biggest issue. And yeah, it was just this.
I don't see it on here. The one that you responded to.
It might be on the other one, the short or something. But yeah.
Yeah, because that's one thing. I haven't seen anyone say that he was actually actively touching the gun when it went off. Now, again, this is all anecdotal witness reports, and even like comments that I've seen. It's like it's a Reddit post. It's a comment. You know, it's I can't actually verify that this person was this person in the video. You know, it's like their photo next to each other or whatnot. Usually, so yeah. Now, to me, like the video is pretty damning because again, let's go the staged route because I think this is an interesting idea. If it's staged,
it would be really stupid because somebody's gonna eventually blow the horn. Blow the whistle.
Exactly. So somebody's gonna talk because there's like 20, 30 students there. It's a class. You can probably look it up and see, you know, how many students were there. They have records of all of the people that bought it. Like it was just a class that people went to from their website, I imagine.
In Tennessee, now, I don't know. That's what it was. It was in Tennessee. I don't know
anything about AHT. I didn't know about them before today. Were you familiar with them at all?
No, I've never. That's why when guys were like, "You're just going after the instructors," like, I don't care who they are. I don't even know who they are. No offense to them. I'm sure they're great guys. It's just more of a they just happen to be the ones running the course, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, I think that wraps it up for the SIG stuff. I'll let you get back to bed now. So
I'm going to sleep. Yeah, that was a weird out of body experience. I'm like, oh God. And then of course I see like the "fuck you" trench comments. I'm like, not this again.
Well, yeah, you came back on and it started up again. So it was like it's a double-edged sword. It's like if you come on, like it's gonna happen. So
it's fine. I'm used to it by the guys at this point.
But you're not without some support. Because Nick for $2 says, "For once I agree with Trench. Vid seems fake." You know, yeah, fake seems fake to me. That seems like a big stretch. Fake.
I would say the video maybe seems like odd. There's a lot of odd things.
There are some odd things in the video.
There's a bad gun that goes off somehow. There's a little bit of instructor incompetence on the AI and the PI. There's a little bit of shooter weirdness with the guy in the gun out. It's just a lot of oddities that all happen to be caught in what looked like 1080, not 4K. It looked about like 1080.
Instagram compresses the shit out of everything, so.
Right. So and we just happen to be weirdos that do this on the internet and have to evaluate it and talk about it. And now we're talking about us talking about it.
Right. So. Yes, it is talkception here.
Correct. But
reactception.
Have a good night, Richard. Have a good night. I'm going back to sleep. I'll be reading chat for 5 more minutes and all the hate. So good night, guys.
All right. Have a good night, man. Appreciate it.
You're a retarded faggot.
Richard, you're not nice. Richard, see, you keep saying like I don't hate you, and then you do mean stuff like that.
I just had to have a little bit of fun.
Unbelievable. Sig, also, you did. For a second I thought you just didn't send it to him as like a meme. Like yeah, I sent it to him. Just never did.
No, I'm an ass.
Well, so we're actually gonna finally get to the forced reset topic, which was actually the main topic of tonight. Forced reset triggers. Is it IP theft? Who makes these things? Is it Alex? Is it Trigger Empire? Who knows? But before we get to that, though, you guys were very generous during the SIG section, including SIG themselves. SIG for $4.99 says, Trench, the Johnny Somali of GunTube. You know, my guess, Richard, is that Sig Sauer, all the other meme accounts that super chat, is all one guy. And so he manages all of them, and he has all these different accounts that he just creates, and then he's that account in the stream. So whichever one is more appropriate.
Plot twist. What if I take the money that I get from the videos and the clips channel and I run 3 separate accounts just to put the money back in super chats?
That would be terribly funny. 6 Hour 499 says Trench, the Johnny Somali of Gun 2. No, that's not true. Johnny Somali is like, yeah, well, that.
Oh, why? Why?
No,
Why? Oh, it loops.
Yeah, it loops. Yeah. Hey, good night. Yeah, Johnny Somali. He's like a terrible. So
he's awful.
Yeah, Sig. He's gonna go away hopefully for a very long time.
Is South Korea getting him?
Yeah, no, they got him. He has like mandatory jail time there, good. So he'll be gone. 6 Hour for 199 says, "Is Trench in Ben Stager's hotel room? ? Rainbow flag, rainbow flag." I hope not. That makes it even more awkward if Ben's calling him a moron. Now, Ben is the type of guy to call somebody a moron in jest and like just be like, "Hey, you're just being stupid. Like, stop doing that." And it's like not super serious. So that sounds like something Ben would say. Sig for 199 says, "The only thing staged is Trench's hairpiece." Oh my gosh. Somebody earlier said he was going for the Kyle Rittenhouse look, which I think Kyle has more hair. Misspot TV for 499 says, "Sig P320 consistently bringing the demographic percentages closer." What does that even mean? What do you mean consistently bringing the demographic percentages closer? I don't even know. That joke goes over my head. It must be in reference to something said earlier that I just forget now.
I think I have an idea.
Sig for 199 says, "The Instructor sounds like Jeremy DeWitt." Possible. Yeah, that's the only the Instructor's the weirdest part of that video. I was just kind of like overly aggressive and like that's really it. That's the weirdest part of the video.
I couldn't imagine the pucker factor.
Yeah, I mean, it's not fun. Mitchell Black from 499 says, "Maybe a low IQ take, but kinda I'm with Trench on this video being staged. The Instructor seemed like he almost expected the shot." Expected the shot? Well, I mean, we have the video. Now let's watch it with the context of, does the Instructor expect the shot?
All right. Is that a fucking 320? Yep. All right. God damn it, dude. Get this gun off my range. Don't bring it back on the range. God damn. Like my demonstration, I want you guys. All right.
He was turned that way, but I think
he was turning
already turned that way.
Yeah, he was turning that way before the shot, but I don't know. Like, again, like the staged angle, like you have to prove that everybody there was in on it, and either there was no gunshot, right? It's just added in post, or somebody off camera shooting the gun or something like that. And all 30 people were like, "Yeah, this sounds like a good idea. We're going to fake this." Right? Which, I mean, you can argue that. Weirder things have happened, but that's a mountain to climb. So
I would,
Mitchell, thank you for the 499, sir.
I'd like to put out an open call to the Instructor here, and maybe one of the cameramen or the gentleman himself who ventilated his boot.
Yeah, I could probably get all 3 on at the same time. That would be interesting. Yeah. But yeah, Mr. Zerch, which is Rick, and the other guy. Subarctic Psycho for $5 says, "Trench looks like he's 5 years old and 50 years old at the same time." That's just mean.
He does have that boss baby look.
Well, so he does have like a more of a baby face, right? And I think he's been in for 13 years, as he always says. So I think he's early 30s, like 31, 32. So he's just older than I am. 6 Hour 499 says, "Trench teaches 17-year-olds from Alabama not to shoot themselves and not all pass." Ouch. Well, so there is a interesting thing about teaching, like military teaching versus like civilian teaching, where a lot of the stuff is like very bare bones and very minimum. It's like, rifles on huge targets out to like 300 yards, and like qualifications are very easy on a lot of this stuff. Like, again, it's like when we looked at the bodyguard standards, or like a lot of the police standards, the standards are incredibly low. Like, they're incredibly low. So just, passing boot camp or, getting good marks on an Army qual does not mean you're actually a good shooter or even a competent shooter. Sig again for $4.99 says Trench stayed at a Holiday Inn Express, so he'll be an expert now. Mean. Sig for $1.99 says guesses who in the GIMP bag on his hotel bed. Rude. Guys are being mean. CK for $1.99 says trench grenade is greater than Jason Bourne. Well, only one of those is actually real. Sig again for $4.99 says, get this gun off my range. It's just what you want to get yelled at you after your gun explodes.
It tried to remove itself.
It's true, because it's self-deleted. It didn't want to be a 320 anymore. It needed to transition to something else. It's like, I want to be a Glock. I identify as a Glock. And you just delete yourself. Jake for $1.99 says, Twench, the tweet 20 Glazer. Okay, that is pretty funny. Thank you, Jake. Huge ass for $4.99 says Trench is a manlet who loves to drink Glock horse product. I wonder what he could be referencing there.
Did you see that Glock is now making watches?
I didn't know that. Oh, that's an interesting watches, handguns, and horse cum.
Yeah, we got Glock watches before we got the Glock AR-15.
Will do. Sig for $4.99 says, oh, good, Trench is on. The stream has jumped the shark. Yeah. You guys love Trench. Huge ass for $1.99 says, Trench sounds like he has bad breath. I don't even know what that means. Oh my gosh. Huge ass says, Trench sniffs his socks when he takes them off.
Well, I think that's an Army thing.
All right. Sig for $4.99 says, Trench says, let him hang. Funny when his haven't even dropped yet. Ouch. You guys are me. Let him hang is what with rifles. Now with handguns. But yeah, there's just a couple little odd things in the video. Huge ass for $1.99 says Trench wipes back to front and recycles toilet paper. Ouch. Huge ass. Well, huge ass would know all about wiping and recycling. He's got a lot more surface area, so I appreciate that, sir. Thank you. 6 Hour for $1.99 says, what is smoother, Trench / Corky's face or brain? You guys are not kind. Mitchell Black for $1.99. Yeah, I'm actually. Can he grow a beard? Because he always looks like perfectly clean shaven. So I wonder if he can.
Not. Physically.
Well, yes. I obviously he's in the military, so he has like restrictions on what he can and can't have. But I'm just curious if he can actually grow like a full beard. Mitchell Black for $1.99 says, Trench, milk my moobs. Very odd request. Thank you for the $1.99. Sabardic Psycho says, does Trench polish his forehead? No, it's just shiny like that naturally. Sig for $4.99 says, can't wait to see Trench on Love on the Spectrum season 4. $4.99. Thank you very much, Sig. Wow, this is awful. Huge ass for $1.99 says Trench has big my dad works at Nintendo energy. Yeah, like the old days where he said my dad works at Microsoft and he's going to get your account banned whenever you lose in Halo or Call of Duty or something. Sig for $1.99 says Trench calling something odd pot, kettle. Nice to meet each other. Thank you for the $1.99 Sig. Garantham's Conscience for $1.99 says, you think people change screen names? I think some people do. I think some people have a silly sense of humor and they spend a lot of money to make sure everybody else gets to experience it as well. Mitchell Black for $9.99 says, we just had kids throw buckets of popcorn after hearing the word chicken jockey for clout. So I don't think it's a stretch that this could be staged for publicity to his training company. Again, it's already like he's got like 80,000 subs or 80,000 followers on Instagram, which is a big Instagram account for just training stuff. It looks like it's doing well. I wouldn't imagine his class is full. I mean,
What the?
plus again, you have to ruin. Well, I guess a few more signups. Although, if you were gonna try and farm like signups after this, you think they would be more concerned with the student and come off better. But he comes off like an asshole. So if he's trying to entice more students to get into his class, like you think you would have treated the person better. So again, it's strange. And you have to think that everybody in this video, the media guy, the students, the teacher, they're all putting their reputations on the line. All of them. Like this would ruin their reputation forever if it came out as fake. So for a few extra class signups and a few extra followers, like they risked everything. Like people have done dumber things, but I think that's a stretch to think that everybody in the video is faked. Like that's a huge hill to climb.
Yeah.
Grantham's Conscience for $4.99 says low IQ take, and Trench agrees. You're on to something. Thank you, Mr. Grantham's Conscience. Chuck for $2 says, do you think these 320 discharges will ever end? Well, I've asked myself that question at times, and the answer is probably not.
Well,
again, there
Sig
are
told me that it ended a month ago.
Your mic cut out again. Chuck, I don't know what's going on with it, homie. There are approximately 3 million 320s in the US. So no, like as they get older, as they get more modified, as people actually use them more, and there's so many of them out in the wild, you're just going to see more of them go off, right? That's just how it goes. And again, it could be compounding issues where before, if you have something with a 320 go wrong, you just blame everything else. Oh, bad ammo, bad magazines, bad X, bad Y, whatever it is. But now everybody is hyper cognizant of a 320 and what happens to it, right? So it's now people notice it more because it's more noticed, right? Just because it happens more often. There's actual videos popping off and whatnot. No pun intended. But yeah, I think it will only increase. That's my guess. Todd and Docs for $2 says, get Instructor. I shouldn't be tired. It's like 9 o'clock. Get Instructor drunk on Nig Sours, then bring on. That was a great sentence. Thank you very much for the $2, Todd and Dogs. That's right. West225 says it NDs now. Not it ends now. It NDs now. That's good. That somebody should fix that on their little poster. That's good. It NDs today. Indeed. Thank you for the $10, Wes. Chuck for $2. Did you all see Glock discontinuing guns and SKUs? Yes, I did see that. They're discontinuing a lot of their 40 caliber guns, if I remember correctly, which is like a pretty big deal to a certain demographic or to 40 cal enjoyers in general. Not my thing. I've never even shot a 40 cal Glock. So, so if you enjoy it, good for you. Jake for $1.99 says, you just have Trench on to farm super chats, hashtag or gay emoji. No, he asked to come on and I sent him on, and I am aware that if Trench comes on the show, he is going to get a ton of hate. That is just the way it goes. The audience is decidedly anti-Trench. And listen, this is a weird take. The staged or alleged take, like it's a big hill to climb. We can say that the Instructor seems a little awkward or, aggressive, but yeah, saying that it's fake or staged, you're going to catch a lot of hate, and people, SIG lovers are going to defend that position, and the rest of the internet, quite literally the rest of the internet, is going to hate you for that. So, and again, if you're going to say it's staged, like, would hope to have some evidence for that. John 23 DPG says AHT is a small town cop. He can't help but be an asshole. That's not true. I actually got pulled over last night by a small town cop, And it was after the Canton Dark match. So we were shooting till like midnight or something like that. And he was like, "Do you have guns in the car?" And I'm like, "Yes." And then so you have to go back to the police car basically because they don't want to leave you alone with guns in the car when they like run your license plate or whatnot. So I get into his car. I'm sitting there chilling with him. He has a dog in the back because it's a canine unit. And he's like, "You don't have any guns on you, do you?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." And he's like, "Oh, okay, well, just don't grab it." And I was like, "Yeah, of course." Like, yeah, because I had my Glock 17 on me. But it's funny that he's like, "Oh, you just did a competition. You have guns in the car. Go back with me to the car so we can hang out." And then after I'm already sat down and whatnot, he's like, "Do you have a gun on you?" I'm like, "Yes, of course. Yes, I do." But we just chatted for a couple minutes. And he was like, "Oh, what do you do? Blah, blah, blah," you know? And he just gave me a warning. It was for something stupid. It was like I pulled too far forward on a stop. So I was technically like in the crosswalk. Right. This is like 1:00 in the morning. So I'm like just trying to go home. And I also had my rear license plate lights. The lights on the license plate were out. I wasn't aware of that. So he pulled me over for that. Just gave me a warning. And then I was like, "All right, I'll see you later." And then I drove the rest of the way home. Pretty boring encounter if you're not aggressive towards the cop. You know, certain demographic might have a harder time with that. All right. I'm sorry. It is an hour and 20 minutes later, and we are going to be talking about FRTs, forced reset triggers. Let me see. Let's look at the Delta Team Tactical. What should I type in for this? 3 position. All right, here we go. Perfect. So 3 years ago, we have a video featuring Mr. Lawrence DeMonico of Rare Breed Triggers, of course, the guys that are actually in active litigation for their Rare Breed Triggers. We have Roger Barrera also on the thumbnail with the Delta Team Tactical FRT-15L3, which is their 3-position FRT, which again, I have currently behind me in my 20-inch IAR upper thingamajig. We have Desk Pop. They did a great video on that as well. They put several thousand rounds. Now, I think in Washington, they have their SOT, so they can, because I don't think you're supposed to have those in Washington, but they have their SOT, so they're all clear there legally. Of course, morally, it's who cares? Have whatever you want. But there were a few other guys as well. You got Chairman Cat, Golden Wet. No, that's a different one. Not a super safety. We're talking about the Big Daddy Unlimited. Obviously, they had their gay thing going on as well. And, oh, hey, we have the stream on it. How about that? But there's a few people that have made videos on it. I think Alyssa Seymour, Despop, Roger Barrera, Grantham. He dropped his video today on it, so I thought it was good timing to actually talk about this sort of thing. But I've asked a couple people that reached out to me about this company that makes the stuff, right? Because it's not Rare Breed Triggers. If we go to their website, let me see, I have it pulled up here somewhere. This is the Rare Breed website. And this shows, if you go to their triggers section, of course, due to the preliminary injunction issued by a federal court in the Eastern District of New York on September 5th, 2023, all Rare Breed official triggers are unavailable until further notice. So Rare Breed is actively fighting.
Hey guys, Lawrence DeMonico here.
A couple lawsuits on different fronts with the ATF and states and whatnot, all that sort of horrible stuff. They're fighting that currently. This is their trigger, of course, that got popularized for a little while. Now, I think currently you can own these, and there's even 3-position conversion kits out there, but they can't sell them, right? Because they're in active litigation with it. But I think it was, 6 months ago or so, we had Delta Team Tactical come out with a 3-position FRT that is a I think, who makes this, FRT or something like that, and it looks very similar, very similar to the Rare Breed triggers. Now, this is not the 3-position version, so you have little different pins in the back. Now, a little history on Rare Breed and Lawrence DeMonico, who has actually been on this show, funnily enough, when we were talking about the strange Alex character, if you guys remember from a while ago. Now, Lawrence has gone after several people who have infringed on his patents, and he's won, I think, every single one. Oh, Hunter did a video as well. Okay, cool. Yeah, lots of people in that circle, let's say, have done a video. Some could say I might have a video coming out on it soon, but I wanted to talk about it before I did. Mr. DeMonico has gone after people for infringing on his intellectual property, and I think currently he has won every case. One of them against Big Daddy Unlimited, because they were selling. Do you remember the name of their triggers? It was something else.
Yeah, wide open trigger.
Wide open triggers. That's the one. So they had wide open triggers, which I've actually used a wide open trigger. I had somebody send me one. It didn't work, so I sent it back to him. That was determined to be breach of intellectual property. And so Lawrence won money from them. They went out of business, and he also got all of those triggers from them. And then he was able to sell them on his website for a short period of time, I believe. So that happened. And then I am not sure of Alex's direct involvement with any of this stuff, but let me pull up Mr. Alex here so you guys can kind of see what we're dealing with. Alex Trigger Empire. Because this all ties together. This is all fun and games. So this is our Alex character there at the top. Now, if you remember correctly, he's pretty famous for scamming people on the FRT, the AK FRT, and there's all sorts of arguments between Julian, the Colonel, Alpha Tactical about how all of that played out. I don't care about any of that. The truth of the matter is that Alex took $35,000 of pre-orders, and allegedly, he told me recently that he got everybody either their money back or their product, right? That's what he's claiming, right? But that's what he's kind of famous for. Trigger Empire fell apart, but they are now back. Now, before the whole Trigger Empire debacle, I believe he was selling weed of some sort. And then he also, Deca 9, is that what it is? Deca 9, Deca 8, something like that?
Delta.
Delta. Yeah, whatever. Delta. Oh, how about that? But yeah. he was also selling FRTs, funnily enough. Strange coincidence there. And Lawrence DeMonico tracked him down and to serve him with paperwork. I believe he was at his parents' place at the time or something like that. And
talking through a window.
Yeah. So we had Lawrence on the show, and he, talked about all of that sort of stuff. So that was kind of interesting. And so I asked Lawrence, like, hey, what do you think about these Delta Team Tactical FRTs? Because I have one, and they look pretty similar to yours. And he doesn't talk about legal cases with random people like me. So I didn't get any response from him. So I was like, okay, well, that's a little bit odd. If it's not a problem, surely he would just respond back or whatnot. But he didn't say anything. So I looked it up, and one of the guys from Delta Team Tactical, not the one that you're thinking about, if you're watching this right now, a different guy reached out to me. Two of them reached out. And the one guy was not aware that I had already been talked to about these triggers from another guy at Delta Team Tactical. So I started fishing. I was like, oh, where are these made, good sir? And again, this guy is completely unaware that I already have a trigger. I've already talked to another guy there. This new guy, he's doing the same thing, right? Hey, we want to do some work with you. We're going to cross promote. We're going to do this and that, and not all the normal sort of stuff. I don't do any of that. I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in information. So I'm fishing at this point. Where are they made? Who makes these? What's the name of the company? XYZ, whatever it happens to be, right? They are made by, let me see if I can pull this up. A really, really ingenious name. They are made by FRT Triggers, LLC. Wow, very exciting name. They're formed in Wyoming, and I think they started in late 2023, something like that, if I remember correctly. I have their filing ID pulled up as well. Now, unfortunately, these guys are using a tactic to mask their LLC, which is the same tactic that I use, which is you can use the address of your registered agent as your business operation, even though you don't actually operate there. That is the address of your registered agent. So Nat Smith, this guy, is not the guy who operates FRT Triggers LLC. He is the guy who operates this. What is the name of these registered agents or something like that? Yeah, filings at Northwest Registered Agent, right? I have a registered agent. That does the same thing for me. So when you look at my business, it doesn't show my address. It shows the address of the registered agent, right? Very normal stuff, but you can look through all of this stuff. Nothing particularly interesting, just a newer company in Wyoming. Again, the actual FRT is based out of Wichita, Texas, which is, just a little off. The address for that registered agent, if you look it up, this 30 North Gold Street registered agent, they have a history of working with scam companies. Interesting enough. You can look through some of the complaints that they've faced. And again, you can, if you want to pay even more money, which I didn't feel like paying just for this stream, you can look at, some of the other information that they may have on there, figure out who actually owns them and whatnot. But that's not particularly interesting to me. What is interesting to me is the idea that it is a short-term profit where they know that they are going to get sued for IP theft and they're going to lose, but they're trying to, because the original price of these triggers was, I think, $750. And I think currently it's lowered to about $500. So, yeah. But I think what's going to happen is that they are eventually going to get sued by Lawrence if they're not already under some sort of legal proceedings from him. They're going to lose, but they're just going to walk away with all of the cash. Delta Team Tactical, they're based out of Utah, are taking this product from this fly-by-night company, and they're obviously trying to hide who actually owns it. There's no website. There's like nothing. It is probably just some little manufacturing place. It might even be Alex. It literally might even be Alex because he was already caught doing this type of thing. He starts up another LLC in another company. He has all the files and he just does the same thing over again. It might still be Alex. Yeah, that's a lot of the way cheesecake. So unfortunately, I don't have the killing blow of being like, hey, it is this person doing this. And again, this is not a review of the product. The product is actually very good, very, very good. It does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's expensive, but for a, maximum semi-auto rate of fire, it does a really good job of that. So my theory is that it's a complete IP theft product. It just is. It's probably owned and ran by some really scummy individual. That's my guess. They're trying to hide where they're actually getting it from because they are going to get sued. Now, there is a slight alternative theory that it is like it's rare breed by a different name, although that would be really stupid of him to do that while he's in active legal proceedings for his own stuff. If he opened up another company to do the same thing, because if that would backfire horribly on him. I mean, Nick is saying that it's made by Wizard in Casper, Wyoming. Very possible. Very possible. But I actually don't know what's Wizard. Named by Wizard in Casper. Oh, named by a Wizard. Okay, I thought you said that was like the actual company. That's funny. But yeah, that's the FRT thing. And so I am going to have a video on the product. But before I actually talk about the product, I want to preface it by saying I think this is a great thing that is unfortunately completely IP theft. And do you want to support Delta Team Tactical, who is supporting this other company, and profiting off of somebody else's design while he's actively fighting the legal fight? It's like you have this one guy over here, he's doing the legal battle, and then some little guy over here is like, well, while he's doing that, I can make a lot of money in the short term. So instead of supporting the guy actually in the legal fight, I'm just going to cash in, right? That's what I'm going to do, which sounds like an Alex thing to do. It sounds like an Alex thing to do. Now, somebody says China. It's possible. It's possible. Now, I think that they might be caught at import. But remember, Alex was trying to get things made overseas to begin with. And Alex is back in town with his own business. He's what's the new one? I forget what his new company is called. People have sent it to me. It's not that much that interesting. But yeah, Alex has this new forced reset trigger, and he and the Colonel and them, they're all doing their own little thing, and they can just keep doing it over there. Whatever actually happens, I'm not sure.
what was the gentleman's name who was joining us from? I believe he may have even been in China at the time. What was his
Julian?
name? Yeah, no.
No.
I can't think of his name right now. The businessman, the guy who was.
Yeah, isn't that Julian? You have the Colonel, Julian, and Alex, right? Or no, AJ. That's his name. AJ, that's the one. So yeah.
He said that he had manufacturing capabilities in China. Right?
Yes. I mean, again, I'm not saying that's where this trigger comes from. But again, we have all of these super hype, really popular. I mean, it's the top search result. And it is the Delta Team Tactical FRT, right? They have their new little film that's up. Very cool. Again, lots of big guys talking about them. 500,000 views on it for good reason. It's a good product. People like it. Chairman Cat, Garantham. Now, I didn't watch Garantham's videos. I don't watch his videos, but did he actually use the Delta Team Tactical FRT in his video today?
I was busy all day. Oh, that's that.
I hate that. Let me see.
That's a dude.
That is, yeah, no kidding. Can I just see it? I just want to see it. That looks like it. It looks like the same safety selector on an Arrow build. Those are rare now. So does he ever show the thing? Can you show me the thing, good sir? Primary arms ad. I don't care, man. Oh, more? He has more ads now?
Yeah, he's
Henry,
got like 5 ads.
Primary Henry, Mantis. Okay, can I actually just see the thing? Show me the thing, sir. Man, imagine if you had somebody who could do. Imagine if you had a great cameraman who could do B-roll for you. Oh, and then there's a dedicated ad. Oh, it is. No way, dude. They have a dedicated ad in the video for Delta Team Tactical. We gotta watch this.
I didn't think that was legal.
No, it's. What do you mean legal? It's definitely legal.
YouTube.
I mean, he's done ad reads for Primary Arms, and they sell all sorts of things. He's done that for a long time.
Good point.
Now, we do have to give a big...
Hey, this is one of the... Alyssa Seymour. This is one of the ladies that actually has done a video on it. And I do want to be clear. I'm not critiquing anyone on the videos on the product. I think Deskpop's video is great. I haven't seen Garantham's. I haven't seen Alyssa's. But it's about the product is probably IP theft.
Yeah, we should go ahead and critique her on her video.
Well, do we want to do that?
Because we haven't seen it, it just seems like perfect thing to do.
I have to watch this. I have to watch this ad spot, though. I have to do this.
Let's go ahead. Let's do a couple drills, and then we'll show you some different uppers.
Let me see your ass, darling.
Well, so Nick says, yeah, this would be in Rare Breed's interest. Why not just rebrand and make these to fund your lawsuit against the ATF? Because the problem is, if you lose,
you get caught,
and then you get caught of doing the exact same thing during your legal process, like. It's double, right? It's double. I guess it's double or nothing, right? If I win, then hey, we're all good. But if I lose, twice as much prison forever, twice.
He doesn't have to make a shell company to sell them. He just lets the shell company sell them and then go after the shell company to take the money.
Correct, because remember, he's won. I believe he's won every single time he's gone after these guys. Right.
So
for
just
IP theft.
Let them go. Let them do their thing.
I also want to talk about it is not super safeties, because super safeties are a completely different mechanism. So I'm only talking about specifically the Delta Team Tactical FRT L3 or whatever they call it.
Yeah, same destination, different directions.
Now, we do have to give a big thank you to Delta Team Tactical for the FRT 15. We can't really say much more than that, other than to say that they are mega based. I'll present it to us. They have awesome proclivities, and we love them very much. So go say that you love.
Literally, Garantham is a very expensive e-whore. Garantham does not like Delta Team Tactical. Garantham doesn't know who Delta Team Tactical is. They paid Garantham $25,000 to $50,000 for this video. That is it. Garantham is just an expensive e-whore.
How
love
many...
them, and that you love their logo, and more importantly, tell them your favorite pizza toppings. Now
that 20 seconds of your life, that was 20 to 50 grand.
Yeah, I could think of worse ways to spend it.
Yeah, I haven't used a super safety. Again, the FRT L3 as a product is fantastic. It does everything it's supposed to do perfectly. It's literally never had an issue. So like, yeah, it's expensive, but it does exactly what it's supposed to do.
My
Yeah, a
issue with the
walking,
super
talking map.
safety is that you have to modify your
Right. That is a little sketchier. Can I just show me the freaking product, good sir?
even from a
It doesn't even
legal
show it.
standpoint, right? If you can, if
Well,
something does
actually,
happen,
Granthem's probably too big where he can't show it on camera because that would be like disassembly or something like that.
hmm
Even though you're supposed to be able to do that.
they would probably say it's modification. But how many FRTs would that?
Now,
would they
Mike
have
is
to sell?
claiming that ABC IP LLC, aka Rare Breed, owns the patent, the FRT 15L3. Rare Breed is allowing them to sell under their patent, and he's spamming that in chat. I mean, I would have to take your word for that, I guess. Random person in chat. If that is the case, I mean, maybe, but that if you're allowing somebody to sell the thing that you're already under, like, legal proceedings for, maybe. I mean, that is what he's claiming.
Allowing them and just not filing the lawsuit yet are two different things, I think.
Now, this is nothing. I don't want to make it seem like everything Lawrence does is great either, because I have heard that he is very, or at least the company owning the patents is very C&D happy, especially to people who are selling super safeties, which is a completely different mechanism and requires you to like modify parts to get it to work. So I don't know where he has footing on that for super safety sellers, because as far as I'm aware, they are completely different methods of operation.
Yes, one locks it and unlocks it when it goes back into place. The other one essentially forces it back forward when it goes back. But
again, there is literally one person in chat claiming that. So I mean, maybe that's the case, and then they're only sold through Delta Team Tactical rather than everywhere. Why would he partner only with Delta Team Tactical? Who, if you're not familiar, they sell like the cheapest. They slap together the cheapest builds possible using like, Chinesium parts and all sorts of other fun stuff. Not that you can't occasionally get good deals on there or like get good luck with stuff. I mean, I think I still have a few parts from them. But yeah. So it just seems like an odd move. It seems like an odd move.
They had a decent price on cheap uppers. I bought a few of them. I didn't have any issues with that, but they did send me a couple of completed upper receivers when I specifically ordered ones that were not put together because I wanted to use the components for different projects, and they instead sent me ones that were already assembled and had been dropped, and they shipped it out anyway. So I'm not a big fan of them. I stopped ordering anything from them.
Playo says Rare Breed is sending cease and desist to everyone selling super safeties. I mean, unless I don't know what Delta Team would have to do to get like, hey, can we get the exclusive rights to sell your rebranded FRT L3s? Like, I mean that claim is a claim. That's for sure.
All right. I mean, it is a large markup compared to what they were selling for, right?
Oh, I'm sure it is. Because again, remember
they were $399.
Yeah, they but I mean, originally the Delta Team Tactical price was $750.
I know, but I was talking Rare Breed. If they were in fact cooperating with another shell company to sell them for them, and then basically they settle in court later.
But why only Delta Team Tactical?
I have no idea.
Or are they just like the fall guys for it? Like, that would be funny. Garantham's Conscience for 49 says, ethics? We don't need no stinking ethics. And again, if that were the case, why wouldn't it just be like public information? Because if he's doing something untoward, why is he trying to be secretive about it? Right? If he's not doing anything like sketchy, why wouldn't it just be out in the open? Garantham's Conscience 499 says, I think I've demonstrated time and time again, there is no too low for me. Thank you very much for that, sir. And I hope that that check is good. I hope you're. I was going to make it dark there, but I'm not going to do that. All right. Thank you. Mr. Grantham. Grantham's Content 49 says, gotta pay for all the seed I've spun. That is true. I mean, technically, what you got 2 alimony payments, 5, 6 kids to pay for. It's a lot. It's a lot. So realistically, if you break it down, out of that 25K, he only gets to keep like 2.5, 3, maybe 6. So I mean, when you look at it like that,
what about the other 5 ads?
Well, yeah, of course, but I mean, still, what I'm saying is like he gives away a chunk of change. It's very generous.
Yeah, very generous.
For $20, he wanted to get this message across. Rare Breed is licensing these directly to Delta Team Tactical. Lawrence is okay. So licensing directly to Delta Team Tactical, but not through Rare Breed, through a shell corporation in Wyoming to Delta Team Tactical. So if he's able to do that while technically not being allowed to sell rare breeds, but then doing it through a third party, is that not a violation? Lawrence is going after Super Safety to clear the market in anti-competitive schemes. So this is like a pro and anti. Yeah, going after Super Safeties, I don't get that. Now, the reason why Super Safeties are attractive is because they're cheap.
Very.
They're usually like, for a metal one, it's like $100, $60, whatever it happens to be, right? Whereas the Delta Team Tactical FRT is $500, $600 when not on sale. Originally, it was $750. Yeah, as Cody says, where'd it go? Super Safeties are free to use IP. I mean, you literally just print them, so I don't get it.
Yeah, I was upset when I found out that they tried to slap Hoffman Tactical with the C&D,
right,
just for putting the information out there. Like at the time, he wasn't selling anything; he had just created it.
And so he goes on to say, but hasn't gone after Delta Team Tactical, someone who is actually infringing. Right. Well, that's why it seems so strange, because it's like if they're working together, he can't do that publicly for legal reasons. And which is why the shell company doesn't actually exist. It's just Rare Breed actually doing everything. That seems pretty sketchy. Like to do that while actually under legal proceedings.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's under an injunction by the courts in New York that he can't sell them.
Grantham's Conscience 49 says, "Ha! You don't know about all my kids in the Philippines." Allegedly. Well, that's the thing. That's why Grantham's trips to Thailand are so much cheaper, because ladyboys can't get pregnant.
Do not come.
Yeah, SBR says Super Safeties require a modded mil-spec trigger to simply install, and that's all. I wouldn't say that it's superior, because again, the FRT3 over many thousands of rounds has been perfect. As a product, it does exactly what it's supposed to do. It's just very expensive, right? But a Super Safety, I have heard of a variety of issues. If you don't machine your trigger properly, over time, some of them wear out. You also have to deal with the crossbar safety, which isn't ergonomically as advantageous as a 3-position safety, at least in my opinion.
I like them.
But I mean, I do like the fact that they're cheap, and most people aren't shooting them enough to actually run into issues.
Just the push button safeties. Like I have swapped out for push button on a couple of my my ARs that I take hunting. I seem to prefer it better for whatever reason. They're noticeably quieter when I go to actually flip the safety off. Like I don't know. I am retarded. There is that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Dave says took an expired patent and added a 3-position and refiled. Well, I mean, again, they had a patent for their FRT, which is like the base functionality, and then they just added a little thing on there to get the 3-position. And again, remember, Lawrence has gone after, again, lots of people doing actual FRTs, wide open trigger, Alex, all of those dudes. And apparently also Super Safety. But the Super Safety is the weird one, right? I don't know why you go after Super Safety unless you're just trying to keep more competition off the market, because their product is so much cheaper.
See, and I think that proliferation beats legislation every day, right? The more of them that we can get out there in the market, the less that the courts can come after the individuals, because it'll be a hell of a lot harder to fight 5 manufacturing companies than it is to fight one.
Well, and the main advantage to the super safety is you can't actually just print one. You can just print it.
What?
It's not as nice as a metal super safety, but you can just print one.
What? Printer go burr?
Yeah. So I mean, that's the thing that is like an objective advantage. Now, for me, I don't care about 3D printing. I just want the thing to do what I ask it to do over many thousands of rounds. So for me, spending the money makes more sense. Right.
I'm currently working on something, but I have to move to be able to do it legally. So
right. Oh yeah, that's right. I forget. Florida seems like super based, but then you actually look into some of the laws, and it's like, oh, they're kind of, although because their AG is now our AG, right? Right.
The old AG, and she is, yeah, she was all right in Florida, but she was very bad on guns. A lot of the red flag stuff, the issues after Parkland. Like they tried to come out and ban bump stocks. They banned binary triggers. They banned like we can't have Dragon's Breath, shotgun incendiary, and a lot of stuff that we can't have. It's pretty bad. But yeah, I can't even play with binary triggers. I have to move to another state just to play with binary triggers. It's awful. But that will be coming shortly. Yeah, I'm not going to Tennessee. No way. Sorry.
Now, question for you. Did you actually want to look at the Alyssa Seymour FRT video?
I was just saying that because I know she was in chat earlier.
Yeah, no.
We can.
5 must-know shooting tips for gun owners. That sounds like a more interesting video. 5 must-know shooting tips. Okay. So this is the video. How is this legal?
If you haven't
YouTube, do not ban me for this, please.
heard of this product yet, buckle up because I firmly believe that this will change the firearms industry in the U.S. civilian market.
Whatever gun she's using, she has it tuned way down because that rate of fire is super slow.
Even with a suppressor on there.
No, well, it's a Geisley upper of some sort, or at least a Geisley Parks kit on some of it. I think it has a rifle speed gas block at the end, so she has it tuned like all the way down. Actually, go back.
I wish I had a
It's not a rifle speed gas block at the end. GB Guns arrives at the end of the stream. On time as ever.
Good evening, sir.
Somebody asked, yeah, girls aren't real. Don't worry about it. It's a figment of your imagination. The trigger ATF.
Just a legal disclaimer, I am not a lawyer. I am just a newbie trying to explain this to newbies.
Is there? Yeah, that's the one. Oh, it's a superlative arms gas block. Yeah. So you can tune that way, 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 way down. No, I'm not actually going to watch the full video, though. I'm sure it's a great video. Granthem's conscious for Fortnite. Oh, my gosh. Grantham, you got to stop. You're getting me in trouble. What is she even doing outside of the kitchen? And... not pregnant? Unbelievable. Unbelievable, Grantham. Your conscience knows no bounds.
Do not come.
Mitzvot TV for $4.99 says, Texas is the great FUD state. We profess to have all the things while having nowhere to use them. F this place. I would not move to Texas. Texas is not my jam. I'm far more in a far more based state than that. Yeah, sorry. No, the intro is chill. What did I come back to? Yeah, you came back at the wrong time, sir. I think that's it. I think that's all we got for tonight. FRT L3, is it patent infringement? Is it a weird workaround for Rare Breed to still make money. Is suing Super Safeties gay? Yes. At least allegedly,
Gay.
I guess she has a ton of affiliate links. Does she have any affiliate links?
Probably
Uh,
a few.
Whenever there's a link in bio, it's like I'm not clicking on that. So yeah, I don't think she's that type of person, but okay, no, it's just the normal stuff. But there are actually a lot of affiliate links, yes. Oh, it's sorry, sharing this too. So the Gunny Gal, Ammo Square, there are a few affiliate links. People use affiliate marketing, not my thing, of course. I don't have any, but yeah. Yeah, well, she admits it. Yeah, not gonna lie, I do have a lot of links. All right. Well, Richard, before we get on out of here, what are your final thoughts and takeaways for this evening?
My final thoughts and takeaways are that we need more of these products, not less. Lawrence should not sue anybody who's making anything that's close to what he is offering, because again, we need more of these. We need more manufacturers. We need more people buying them all around. And the more that there are, the cheaper they are. And so on. The cycle continues. But yeah, suing people dropping C&Ds is that's gay.
Yeah, don't do that. I mean, I've had my own experience with people dropping C&Ds, and usually it's like a scare tactic. Usually they don't actually want to go to court. They just want you to comply with a little letter.
Usually they don't show up at your house.
Yeah, Lawrence will absolutely show up at your house, which is funny. And yeah, we've had Lawrence on stream. So again, he's in legal proceedings. I would like to actually talk to him about all this stuff, but again, he's not talking about active legal proceedings. So it's just the whole situation is a little strange. So before I actually do a video on the FRT, I did want to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm interested to see how it all plays out. And I'll be glad once I finally get out of here so I can have some fun stuff, because I will be getting one.
Heck yeah.
So,
all right. Well, with all that out of the way, gentlemen, thank you very much for your generosity, for hanging out for nearly 2 hours of cringe listening material. I hope you enjoyed the great SIG debate as well as the FRT speculation. Upcoming next week, I have 2 or 3 videos coming out on various channels. Probably a live stream Wednesday. Maybe we're talking to a socialist rifle member on Wednesday. Maybe that's the entire Wednesday stream, is just having a spirited ethics debate with a socialist, a real socialist on Wednesday. That could be fun. But sorry, go ahead.
That'll be interesting to debate ethics with a socialist.
Yeah, it should be a good time. John really wanted to do it, so I was like, yeah, heck yeah. You wanna do it? I'll give you a platform, and you guys can duke it out philosophically.
Yeah. I'm all for it. We'll have a good chat.
T Swift is horny posting on Maine. For that, you catch a ban. All right.
Oh,
but
I didn't
all
see
that
it.
out of the way. He's fine. But with all that out of the way, gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful night. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. God bless.